All right. So we got this YouTube show. It's called What Are People Doing? Where I kind of ask you what you might have going on at the moment. You know, how your day going? How did you wake up this morning? How did it flow into the day? You know, what do you do? You know, where you from? And how did that contribute into, you know, what you do? I don't need your social security number or nothing, but we gonna get in your business a little bit. We kind of nosy. We a little nosy. You know what I'm saying? So, What's your name?
I'm Ebony.
Ebony. Okay, that's what's up, Ebony. Where you from?
I'm from Philly.
You from Philly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Headed back home, actually.
You headed back home? Okay, yeah. So we gonna get in your business real quick. We want to see what you doing down here.
I came down here for a conference.
Okay, so all right, so that's a good question. You know, what do you do?
So my background is in public health and city planning. So really looking at how we design our communities and cities and how that impacts health outcomes.
Okay, so elaborate on that a little bit. Like break that down a little more.
Yeah. So every neighborhood, every city was designed by a planner or a team of planners and architects and engineers. And so from the planning perspective, city plans are written at least 15 to 20 years in advance. And so that's why this current neighborhood where we're at, it looks the way that it does, from the infrastructure to the roads to these types of buildings, whether or not it's residential or commercial mixed use. We call it CMX. So our health outcomes are a byproduct of how our communities and cities were designed.
Okay, so you say it's health products?
Health outcomes.
Health outcomes. Okay. And so
like your mental health, your physical health, your access to high quality education, healthcare systems, access to financial institutions like banks, the built environment, or even like outdoor space, green space, all of those things were planned by city planners.
Yeah, okay, so y'all kind of just got like a one-stop hub where you can service different
things.
Different things, you know what I'm saying?
You can call it that. So essentially every city or every county has a planning and development team or office. Yeah. And so planners will work with essentially every agency. So whether or not it's the public health department, the local school district, the police district, different things, or even the mayor's office.
Right.
So planners are literally the people who meet with communities, meet with developers. They come up with plans and identify how a community will look, where schools are placed, where hospitals are placed, where local businesses are placed. Like all of those things are designed
strictly for the main point of health. The main where it all goes back to, because it's like however the city is laid out, we need the best, comfortable way to get to the spots that we need for health. That's the first things first.
Right. Unfortunately, it's not always prioritized in that way.
Right.
But it should be. We should be keeping the health of every resident. For example, in Atlanta, that should be the priority in how we design our cities and communities, or how we redesign them, right? Because there's a lot of development taking place across Atlanta and across every major metropolitan city in the U.S. So what does that look like?
Right. So how long has this been like, scaled like that across the nation like that? How long is this company, and what do you do at the company?
So city planners actually work for a city. So you can have city planners work for a private company, but I had done work with the city of Philadelphia. But right now I actually work for the state of PA doing economic development work. And then bringing my city plan and public health lens to the work as well.
Okay, so the economic development, that was after were you doing the health outcomes first?
So I actually went to school. So I received my master's in public health, and then I'm actually completing my master's in city planning right now. And
economic development.
It is a part of all of those things, right? Because we need capital, we need money to invest in infrastructure, to design cities or redesign cities and communities.
So you got a big position. You're like a leader where you're like, listen, I'll go get the extra, I'll go get the extra education for the slot that we need. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because city planning is only about 3% composed of people of color, and we need more city planners in the space. So We have people who are not black and brown
Right.
planning communities for black and brown people.
Like they don't eat Larry's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the season and we got a little different.
I don't eat Larry's either. So I'm gonna be honest with you. But it's just like, how can you plan for a neighborhood when you don't understand the historical context?
They don't know our seasonings. Well, you know, some of it is a little mixed up. You know, some black and Spanish use kind of, you know, we'll throw some goya on some if we need to. But go ahead. I get what you're going at. I get what you're going.
Yeah. So, you know, it's definitely a space where we need more people of color in it.
Yeah.
So that we can make sure we're being intentional about
Right.
how we're designing our cities and communities.
Right. So.
And representative as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in the health, you're doing in the health outcomes. When did you start that? Like, where did that come from? What was your mindset? When did you get into that?
Yeah, so I live.
Can you if you mind me? How old are you? If you don't want to, you know.
I'm in my mid-30s.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Me too. So when did you start doing that? Like, when did you coming up in Philly? Like, what gave you the mindset? You know, did you have some little siblings you took care of? What gave you that nurturing to where? Because it's basically like you looking. You know, for everybody, you know, where does that come from?
I am the youngest, so I did not have any siblings that I had to raise. But I actually lived in the DC area for a few years, and so I worked for an organization that had a program called Active Design Verified, and so
was this after high school? Was this where you went first?
No,
we're gonna get in your business a little bit. So real quick,
that
after
was
high school,
after undergrad,
you went right to college after high school.
I did.
Okay, so coming up, you was the only child.
Technically, yes.
Both parents?
Both parents.
Okay, that's what's up. So you got that TLC, that tender loving care.
I did.
And you look,
I had
you
a
kind
great
of
upbringing.
right, and you kind of look at things, and you kind of can see where some of that will have some balance. You know, put some balance on you, and you kind of look at things, and you kind of look like, well, hey, this is how I feel like I can help. This is where, you know, I had some balance coming up. This is where I kind of see certain things are missing. This is where I can, you know what I'm saying? You going to school to put an extra leg on the table you building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So take me through that. Was that kind of the, you know, where you were coming up and going into your first project that you were mentioning? And what was it again? I'm sorry.
So I'll get to that. So growing up, my mother owned a child care facility. And so I guess that's really where I realized that, like, we can have an impact on people's lives from childhood all the way up to senior citizens. And then with my undergraduate degree in public health, I was able to go and work for an organization where I learned about a program called Active Design Verified.
Right.
And so essentially it was encouraging developers to implement, they call them like public health strategies or tactics, into their existing buildings or their new buildings that they're building.
Right. What did you choose health?
I'm an educator by nature. I love educating people, and I feel like what better way to educate people than showing them just how to live a healthier life, right? And how that impacts you not only now but in the future,
right?
And in the long run,
right?
So yeah.
Did you have some like? I don't say that we always have to pick from trauma, but maybe you had like a family member that passed early, or something you know maybe was close to, or that you saw there was some health, you know what I'm saying? That if they just did it, if they had just did this, you know, this would have, you know what I'm saying? Or was that coming up in the education you got, or something that you looked at and you was like, well, hey, I can help like this too,
well,
you know?
Believe it or not,
like being of service, or you know.
Yeah. So I was a chemistry major for like 2.5 years in undergrad, and then I decided, and
you just was doing everything.
Listen, I've had a very non-linear path.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, you don't have to go in a straight route. Like, trust your journey, trust that God is going to take you wherever you need to go.
So the chemistry.
Right. So chemistry, and this was around like 2008, 2009, and I was just like, if I don't go to med school, I don't want to be in a research lab for the rest of my life.
Right.
So I actually switched to public health. They took all of my courses. I only had to complete like an extra semester. So And it was something that I could see myself, working in, whether or not it was health education, health research, academia. There's like a lot of different fields that you can get involved in as it relates to public health.
Right. How long were you doing it?
So I was a health educator for about 4 years. And then I worked in DC. I was down there for about like 2.5 years. And then I came back to Philly, went back to Philly, ran my mother's child care facility.
Right.
And then was also finishing grad school.
Yeah.
And so now I'm working in economic development.
Right. So real quick, you said you ran your mother's what?
Child care facility.
Her child care facility. What, she just kind of asked you like, hey, did you do it for a while? Like, can you just take care of this for me for like so-and-so months or years?
So it
How
was
long
something
did you
that
get
I
that?
was always interested in doing.
Okay. She always had it?
Yeah, since I was 3.
Ooh.
So my mother was in business
Wow, so
until 2022, until she passed away. So
wow, my condolences. And so you saw her all the time. What was she doing when she was doing the facility? Like, what did
she was working.
You just saw her just taking care of everything?
Everything.
Okay.
Running a child care facility is no joke, especially when you have like a smaller one. You're working in the different classrooms. You're doing operations management. You're overseeing budgets and curriculums and all the things. So shout out to all the child care directors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of instilled the care into you too as well. So
Absolutely.
You from 3 years old,
Absolutely.
you was like groomed. It's like, I know that's a funny word to use, but like, yeah, you was groomed in a good way as far as like community.
Yeah.
Since 3 years old, you was around community. You saw the parents come picking up their kids.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like your formative years. I always like to talk about the formative years with my guests, age from when you're born to like 10, 11 to when you're like a preteen.
Right.
That's pretty much kind of like your base programming of how you're gonna. And so you around 10, 11 care. Being shown by your mom, and it's kind of like you kind of wanted to broaden that to like a city or even further.
Right.
In your time and when you came up.
And my mother was also very ambitious, right? 20, almost 25, 30 years ago, she was starting a small business, and I was able to see her open it up in her home, and then she moved to a group facility, and then she moved up to a center. And so, that took a lot of guts, it took a lot of ambition, and she will always be and has always been my hero. And entrepreneurship is not easy, but it can truly be rewarding. Right.
It's like you was born to do what you're doing. It's like you came right up under someone, and your mom, you was like, born right into it to see community. It's you know what I'm saying? Type of people like you that like saw that. Because a lot of that could get missing in these days with people doing like, alternative things. You know what I'm saying? There still has to be those people that's, making sure that they're like automatically, it's like I'm taking care first.
Right. And those influences, right?
Yeah.
Mother is heavily, she has influenced who I am today. And while she may not have understood all of the decisions that I made or even understand the disciplines that I went into, she always supported me.
Ebony, signing off. I love that what you was doing. I love you're taking care of setting up the health facilities, the economic. You're doing that for school to help with the health facilities, the health outcomes.
City planning.
Yes, you're from Philly, and you had a conference. The conference was good.
Yep.
That's what's up. So right now you're going where?
I'm headed back to Philly.
You got to get on your flight. So that's where you're based. That's where you do what you do at.
I'm based in Philly.
Okay. If you want to plug your social media, can you say it and spell it out? If you want to plug it.
I do not.
You do not. You just so fly like that. You like just, I just help you out with your little interview, but I'm at least, let me inspire somebody.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. And you just moving and grooving in the world. Thank you, sister.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
you. And she out here looking fly, y'all. She out here looking fly. You have a good day.
You too. Now, what's the YouTube channel? So I can look at it.
It's DVN Media.
DVN Media.
And we signing off, y'all. Peace.